Hello, welcome to Science with me. My name is Dr. Erica. I am so excited that you're here with us today. If you are just joining us for science, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. You can subscribe so you don't miss any of our projects. You can always support us at patreon.com/RosieResearch. We're in our Among Us unit, and I thought it would be really fun to go back to the drawing board of paper circuits, which we did all summer long, and make an electrical wiring that lit up LEDs as we went. It's our hardest paper circuit project that we've ever done. So if you are new to paper circuits, make sure that you check out our YouTube channel. Try some of the easier ones first before you get to this one, all right? If you are not a patron of ours, you can always also grab this template up at Teachers Pay Teachers. We have all of our paper circuits up there, so if you find out you love it, you should definitely check it out. So, what do we need for this project? You need our trusty old copper tape. You're gonna need a hole puncher to punch some holes. I have some scissors just in case I need them. You definitely need some Scotch tape. This is really important. You can use masking tape as well, but you can't use you can't reuse your conductive tape for that part, all right? We need 4 CR2032 batteries, 4 of them, because on our circuit, you'll notice there's 4 spots for batteries. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to make it so that if you wired red up to yellow, it wouldn't work. And we could make it so that red to red would light up red, but then if I put red to yellow, it would have lit up yellow if we only had 1 battery. So this ensures that they will only light up when they are correctly done. So you need 4 of them, which is pretty cool. And then you will need 1 red, green, blue, and yellow LED. All right, I have 2 on the table with me, just in case we find out that 1 doesn't work, but you need 1 of each color. And that is about all you need for the project. So I am going to walk us through step by step how to make this. So the first thing that you'll notice is on the sides, there's 8 black circles. And we're gonna do a top-down view so you guys can see this really well. I'm gonna use my hole puncher and punch out those 8 black circles. All right, if you can't get it exactly, that's totally fine. This is gonna be a little window for where we can connect our 2 pieces together. So if it doesn't end up perfect, we'll just make sure that our copper tape goes through over there. All right, so there is that side of 4, and then we'll put it on this side. There we go. It's always really nice if you have thicker cardstock paper. You can do it on thicker cardstock. It gives your project a little bit more durability. All right, so here we have our pieces all cut out. So I cut out those 8, 4 on each side. The 8 black dots are all done. Now I am going to start laying down some copper tape. These are all different copper tape lines. There's 3 sets this time. And you'll notice that they're outlined in different colors, and that's to help you see where you're wiring. So the first thing it tells me is to wire up the gray, green, blue, and red pieces of copper tape. So I'm going to take my copper tape and just make an end for myself. And you can measure it. I always measure a little bit long just in case. You can cut it then. And you'll use your fingernail to really get under it and split it. And now in each of these turns, you do not want to cut it. You have to fold it and bend it as you go. All right, if you cut it, your paper circuit won't work for you. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna fold it and bend it. So it goes to the right on mine, and then I'm gonna fold it up and bend it down. And when I get into here, it goes into that green circle. All right, so I need to go nicely well within that green circle. Just like that. I usually take my thumbnail and I just rub it down like that. And I'm going to do that for the blue and the red, not for the yellow one quite yet. All right, and that's because the yellow one's going to have to cross over. So here's the blue. Again, I'm going to bend it. I like to just press down right there and then fold it right over my fingernail. And then press it down. I fold it backwards and then sort of forwards, and I press that part down. And again, I'm going to go well within that circle. That ensures that I really get good contact with the bottom of that battery. Let's see, that'll be long enough for the red. And then I'm also going to do the red. Just like that, we're going to fold it. And then we'll come straight on down. And well within that circle. All right, the key points here is you really do want to make sure that you get all the way up to the top of that gray line and all the way well into that circle of your battery. All right, now we're going to add our first piece of Scotch tape. So in step 3, we're going to put a piece of Scotch tape over the red and the blue that we just did. And you can see it right here as this thick blue rectangle. I'm going to put a piece of Scotch tape right over that, just like that. That's going to ensure that when I add the yellow in and it crosses over the red and the blue, that it doesn't connect with the red and the blue. So we're basically putting sort of like a plastic outer piece of those wires. And now I can do it for the yellow portion of this guy. So now I'm going to go here and I'm going to make sure when I'm crossing over where that Scotch tape is at. All right. I'm going to go down into the Scotch tape that I just put down, and I can cross over like that. That's something that's fairly new for a lot of our scientists out there. And we'll go well into that yellow circle, and now I have that part all done. All right, so we did the green, the blue, and the red, and then we added that piece of Scotch tape and then the yellow. All right, so that's really important. All right, so we are on to step 5, where we are going to do all of these ones that are yellow. And now we don't need to worry about the Scotch tape quite yet. The one thing we do want to make sure of is as we're coming down here that these red, green, blue, yellow pieces don't touch each other. All right, so we can just start adding tape. You're going to add it, I would add it a little bit past this dot so that we can make sure that your hole punch that you did is all ready. And we will just bring it on down. And again, make sure that you're doing it in one piece of tape instead of ripping it. And you're going to make sure you go well into that lighter shaded circle that's going to end up at the top of our battery. And you can use your thumb to go on down just like that. And then we're going to keep doing that for our other pieces. So here we'll have the red one. And it's okay if you go well past that. That's totally fine. All right. I'm going to come on down just like this, making sure that we don't touch between them. Now this one is a little too long and I do not want it to go out of that circle. So I'm going to cut that off a little bit earlier than where I was. And we can do the blue one. Get this started again. Just like that. Again, really making sure that we do it in one long piece and that they don't touch each other. All right. I'll cut it there, and I don't have enough for the green, so I'm going to get a new piece. I'll get that started. And our last one is this green one. If it happens to rip on you as you're doing this, you're going to want to start that piece of tape all the way over. All right? It just really doesn't work nearly as well when we have it started sort of like that. All right. into here. All right, and I can press all of these down with my thumbnail. Make sure that they're just really nicely on and stuck to that paper. Folds out kills any of the kinks that we have. All right, now we are ready to put our LEDs in. Now this part is really important, the order that we put the LEDs in. So we're gonna start with the green. And the reason that it's really important is because as we use Scotch tape to tape in the legs of the LED, it's gonna cover it so that we can then jump over it. So that's really important. Now before we put our green one in, we do wanna double check that our green one works. So you can put it around your battery. Remember, the long leg is the one that goes with the letters on the top of the battery, and the short leg goes on the bottom of the battery. And here on the template, we tell you where to put it. So the short legs all go towards the top, and the long legs all go towards, oh, I think that's flipped actually. So the long legs should all go on the top, and the short legs should all go on the bottom. We'll make sure that template is fixed for you guys. Is that right? And I gotta think about it. Because this is gonna be the top of our battery, which will come out of here. Oh, and then we're gonna put it through here, which is gonna go through there, and then down to the bottom of the battery. So this is gonna be our long leg, and that is gonna be our short leg. And you wanna make sure that you know which one goes where. Our long legs up here, and our short legs down there. Now you see I can take this guy, and I can put the long legs like that. I need to put this tape down first though. So let's get that tape put down. Go up, and then go over. You can see that my copper tape gets really crowded right there as we go. Then I'm gonna cut this. It's not very flexible and it's still on the spool. Just like this. And I'll go right through into that circle. All right, so now I have the green piece of copper tape down. And I'm going to put that just like that, and I'll use my Scotch tape to tape those legs down. All right, just like that. I want to get really good contact. I like to press really hard on it. And then we'll put a piece right up here as well. Just like this. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to do the next one over. So I'm going to go over into the yellow, and I'm going to put my copper tape down first. I'll get that started. And again, we're going to make sure that we bend it as we go. And this is going to be okay as long as I don't touch the part of this tape that's exposed. All right, so I'm going to come over here, make sure I stay on that copper tape or that Scotch tape right there, just like that. I'm going to come off of my line a little bit. I should have added a little more Scotch tape onto it. And I'm going to fold it down and over into where my yellow goes. Just like that. All right, and now I am ready to put my yellow LED in. Again, I'm going to check my LED and make sure it works. I'm going to put my long leg towards the top and my short leg towards the bottom. Just like this. And I'm going to use Scotch tape to tape those parts down as well. Now, if you find that you feel like you're a little bit stuck over here and you're going to need to touch things, what you can do is you can add extra Scotch tape over those parts, and I'll show you how to do that. Just 1 second. So I'm going to take this piece of Scotch tape, put it over, and it's going to be a nice big piece. It's going to go all the way over to here, so that when I put that blue piece over there, it's not going to have to worry. And I'm actually noticing I've got some exposed copper tape here that I don't want the blue to touch. So what I could do is take some Scotch tape and put it right over these areas that I also don't want to get touched. All right, and then I also need to tape in the other leg, the short leg of my guy, just like that. All right, I got 2 of them in. Next is our blue. Again, we're gonna check it and make sure that it lights up. We're going to put our copper tape down for blue. This one goes up a little bit. That's just to make it easier as you tape those legs in. And then we will come right back down. And you'll notice we're going over these other legs, and it's okay because we have that Scotch tape barrier there so that this doesn't connect. So we don't have to worry about that. And here is where my blue is. I can go right over the yellow line because I have Scotch tape there still. That's the only reason why I can go straight over the top of it. Oops. There we go. And go off to the side. Just like that. I'm gonna flatten this down with my thumb. And I tested this blue, so again, I'm gonna put the long leg on the top and the short leg towards the bottom. I'm gonna make sure that these legs are touching the copper tape when I tape them down. So I don't want them to be sort of over to the side and touching the paper. They both need to be taped straight on top of that copper tape. That's really, really important. So I will tape this one down. I like to make sure they get really pressed down there. And I will use another piece for the top part. There we go. And again, I'm going to make sure I cover all of this because my red line is going to sort of come over these things as well. I want to make sure I've got lots of good Scotch tape covering things up. All right, so here the red gets really close, so I'm actually also going to put some Scotch tape here again to cover that up and ensure that I don't make contact between some of these layers. So Scotch tape is really one of your best friends on this paper circuit project. All right, and now I have red. I'm going to check my red, make sure that it works, and then I'm going to lay down the tape for the red, and then we're almost, oops, is this long enough? We'll find out. Then we're almost done, which is amazing. It's always exciting when that happens. All right, so I'm gonna go straight down and down like this. Go all the way across. All these little jumper pieces is why I think this is one of the hardest paper circuits that we've ever had to do in our classes. And then we're gonna come down just like that. Again, making sure that I don't touch either of these. And then I go straight up to the hole that is red, just like that. And now press this all down. And we will make our red leg, our red LED do the splits. And we'll tape this down also. Again, making sure it makes really good contact with that copper tape underneath. We don't want it on the paper. All right. And this one we don't have to worry as much about. Oops. Just folded that over. As much about the Scotch tape. This one we just really need to tape in. Just like that. And again, your template will be slightly different because I am going to fix that for you guys. There's long and short legs. Now, if you flip them all and you have your short legs, all the short legs on top, that's okay. Your circuit will still work. You'll just flip over your battery. Now I'm going to double check that all the 4 batteries work before I put them in. Just make sure that they can light up an LED. Yep. And I can tape these in place. Now here is a place where a lot of people accidentally break their circuits, and that's because they accidentally taped straight over the top of their battery. You want to make sure you tape over the sides of your battery, just like this, because you need it to make the connection to the top. This copper tape needs to touch the top of that battery. All right, so that's pretty important. If you don't do that, you won't be able to close that circuit. All right, you really only need about one piece of tape to hold each battery in. Just like that. And so you notice I'm just on the edge little piece of the battery. I'm not going over the top of the battery. All right, it's really important not to go over the top of that battery. And here is my last one that I'm going to tape in, just like that. All right. Now, I'm going to add some Scotch tape over these parts, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold it up, and I don't want these pieces to touch these lines. So we don't Scotch tape over these circles, just over this part area. And you could do it as like a few sort of long pieces if you wanted to. Like this. I'm just gonna layer it and make sure that none of this is showing or able to, sort of the copper tape's not on top. All right, there we go. And that will prevent these from touching these pieces when we are up top. So now we can fold our circuit just like this. And then we can, of course, test it. Now, we can test it through these holes. I'm noticing my holes, when I punched them, they're a little bit unlined up. That's okay, though. So I need to find the two yellow pieces. And the idea is that, let's take a look at where my yellow is. My yellow is this battery. I'm going to press down on the battery just to double make sure. And I should be able to turn my yellow light on just like that when I am connecting the two. And then I can check the other one, so that tells me my yellow circuit works. You can check the red. Here's my red battery, and the red goes to the bottom. So I want to press on the battery just to make sure I've got good contact there, and my red goes to the bottom. My red turns on. Amazing. All right, and then I have the blue. So now let's connect the blue. I'm the third battery over. The blue is this one, and looks like this one. Ooh, let's see. Yep, there's the blue. Beautiful. And then I have my green, which is this last battery. And I'm noticing my green, I don't have any of it that is showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add an extra hole punch. A little bit higher. I shot a little bit low that time, which is okay. So there's my green, and my green, it looks like, is up here. Let's double check. Yep, that one's green. Maybe the last part of it is just adding in the colors. Let's see if our green works. There it is. So now I can get all the different colors if I wire them up properly. What you would probably want to do, I like to put sort of clips on these guys right here. And then you're going to need to take a marker and color green here and green up here, so somebody knows they have to take their piece of wire and connect it up that way to make the green go. And then they need to know that they got to connect here to there to make the yellow go. And it's just like the wiring diagram that we have in Among Us. You can, once you've checked that everything works, you can tape around this edge. Make sure you don't tape over your holes that are your contacts, but you can close all of your circuitry off by taping it up like this on both sides. And of course, any of the holes that you need to do a little better job opening up or aligning, you can do that. You can also, if you want to, you could punch holes for the LEDs. If you wanted this to lay flat instead of have it like that, you could punch some holes for those LEDs. And then you would just take sort of some markers and you would, let's see, like here is my green, like like this, and then my green was up here. It just taped down, and these won't write on tape, but do it like that. And here's my blue. And this tells people how they have to connect the wires. And because we have the 4 batteries, it won't work if I connect blue to yellow or blue to green, because it won't have a power source. And so this is our fun Among Us wiring project. It's a really big wiring project, but it's got a huge payoff. It's so much fun. I hope that you enjoy doing this with us. Definitely come on to class and check it out and ask the questions that you need to ask as we do it. Because this is certainly our hardest paper circuit project we've ever done. But I would love to see them working, and I'm happy to help you guys troubleshoot if they're not working. You can always send us a picture of what it's looking like, and we can take a look and see if we can figure out how to make it work for you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you've enjoyed our week of Among Us, and we have some more fun Among Us projects coming up. And then after that, we will be checking out the Mars Perseverance landing for the February 18th landing of our rover on Mars. All right, have a great one. Goodbye, my friends.